of our listeners wrote in and she needs some help.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go. I've been with my boyfriend for 3 years. However, I am pretty sure we are not compatible anymore. Now, the problem is that he's a really nice guy and loves me truly. I do believe that, but he starts crying the moment I try to explain why we should break up. I've tried this conversation numerous times, and I always end up taking it back after he promises to change and work on us. But then we're back to square one in a matter of weeks. I really think it's over, but he won't let go or accept it. And I fear is if I just leave or do something abruptly, he may go into a depression. What should I do? How can I soften this inevitable breakup? Thank you. And again, that was sent in by Amy.
All right, Amy. Yeah, that's a little tricky situation, but surprisingly, a lot of people find themselves in that same situation. They've invested a lot of time and effort and energy into one person, and they've kind of grown apart over that course of time. And it can be tricky when you realize that you don't really have a future together. That, even though your partner might be fantastic, lovely, very nice person, the feelings that you once had, or the compatibility in this case, just aren't there anymore. And sometimes people just grow apart. It's a natural thing, and neither one of you are really at fault for that. You got to have to give each other space to grow and develop, and hopefully you're able to do that and stay like in a parallel path. But sometimes you grow apart, and it's just a natural part of it. What I'm going to give you, though, is a couple of tips on how to do this softly. The breakup. I know that you said you already tried to do that a couple times, and he's not handled it very well. Real quick before I do that, though, I just want to remind you and anybody that's listening that's in a situation like this is you have to pick your happiness above your partner's. And I know that might sound very selfish, but ultimately, if you are not happy yourself, you can't give the best version of yourself to your partner. So you have to always make sure that you're taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, that you are a complete person whenever you're in a relationship with somebody. And if you start suffering, and the relationship will as well. So choose your happiness every single time, and you'll be the best version of yourself for your partner. Now, in this situation, it sounds like you're pretty sure that there's no real future. So we're going to kind of get into a couple of tips on how I recommend to give this information to him that you're going to end the relationship, and how to do this in the most kind way possible. My first tip is, when you go to him, don't have a bunch of reasons. Don't go with 10 different reasons. You need to have one or two at the very most. You don't really need to stack your case. Stick to the strongest reasons and repeat them. And the reason I say don't go on a bunch of different reasons is because they're going to probably try to nitpick some of those and say, hey, I can work on this and work on that. But if you have one or two reasons that are significant, that can't be reconciled, that is what you need to focus on. My second tip is, of course, to be kind. Don't attack him. Don't try to argue. And of course, this is a very emotional moment, so he's probably going to feel attacked. He might even try to argue, but don't take the bait. Just try to stay as calm and kind as you possibly can while you're giving this information to him. My third tip is, don't try to be the nice guy. It's going to hurt. So in that pain, don't try to be liked, because what you might end up doing is, in a way of trying to alleviate the pain that he's going to be experiencing, and a lot of people do this, is they say things like, hey, maybe we can still just be friends, or this doesn't mean we can't talk anymore, you can still message me. And what this really does, it just sets up a sense of false hope of opportunities down the road where, hey, maybe we just need a little bit of time of a break, and then maybe we can work things out again. And that's really not what you're wanting to do with them. You're wanting to have a very clean, mature break so you two can both find a better partner for your future. And my last tip is to stay firm in those reasons. Now, the reason I say that is because they might try to come back, and they might try to pull at your heartstrings and things like that. But if you understand the reasons why you broke up, you can go back to those, the ones that you brought to him the very first time. Those are the reasons that are going to keep you from falling back into those relationship cycles that don't feed us, the ones that waste our time, the ones that take all of our youth away from us. Really find those reasons so you can stick to those. I know that this is not an easy topic. I understand. I'm there with you. I'm in your corner, but be brave, and I'm sure you can do the right thing.
Yes, and thank you, Amy, for writing in. People that also want to have a question tackled by Brock, you can send an email. That's Gino, Gino, at WDODradio.com. Brock, thank you. We'll talk to you next time.
Sounds good, Gino. Thank you.